Now, good morning and welcome to 96.3 Buzz FM. We have in the studio Mr. Raki Ap. He's the international spokesperson for the Free West Papua Campaign and Green State Vision. He's here in the studio, here in Vanuatu, and he will give us more of his visit in Vanuatu, not only in Vanuatu, but other Pacific countries. His mission to the Pacific. Now, Mr. Ap, good morning and welcome to 96.3 Buzz FM.
Thank you for having me.
Now, tell us more about you, because we're definitely going to focus on the ULMWP campaign to become a full membership of the MSG. But yourself, as a West Papuan, you're from West Papua, but you were born in Papua New Guinea before you left for Europe. Now, tell us more about your life.
Yes, thank you so much. My roots lies obviously in West Papua. Both my parents come from there, but due to the ongoing colonization and occupation of West Papua by Indonesia, my father, who was an anthropologist and a famous musician, Arnold Ap, was several times arrested before I was born. And during his last arrest, Indonesian military assassinated him. This was in April 1984. And at the time, my mother and three brothers already got some signals, so they fled West Papua towards neighboring Papua New Guinea. And I was born there, right across the border in Fanimo, in a refugee camp. So born, and then I heard that our father was assassinated. So my mother and three brothers at that moment fled to the Netherlands, which is the former colonizer of West Papua, where I basically, grew up as a Dutch citizen. At a later stage in life, for about 15, 60 years, I asked my mother, so what's the real reason that I don't have a father and that we are in the Netherlands? And then she showed me the pictures of our father's bullet wounds and torture lines. And then I realized, wow, this is not only happening to our father, but to a lot of West Papuans.
That's right.
And that has transformed me to the person I become today, being an ambassador for the people of West Papua to educate people around the world what's happening in West Papua. And that's why I'm here as well.
So you feel more West Papuan living in a European country?
Yes, absolutely, because
of the past?
Because of the past, yes.
Your mother, your father, your brothers went through?
Yes, and my father was somebody who really said it is important to embrace our culture, and that's what my mom did. When we was kids, she always told us about, the values of indigenous West Papuans and the way we eat, the way we cook, that makes us West Papuans. So even how we live in the Netherlands, we got the values and norms that our father wants every West Papuan to embrace and to know. That's why I still stay very close to the West Papuans.
So even though you're in a democratic country, but you don't feel free unless your country is free.
Exactly. How I live in the so-called international capital of peace and justice, how the Netherlands described The Hague, where I'm based. We know that it is not true. It is exactly this city, The Hague, who is looking away from what is happening in their former colony, former Dutch New Guinea, West Papua. So I have never felt the freedom that the Netherlands is celebrating during their Independence Day, which is right. But I don't feel it because my people are still suffering and living without freedom.
Now that you're the spokesperson for Free West Papua Campaign and Green State Vision, you're traveling the world, including us here in the Pacific. Do you feel safe traveling, doing your work?
Yeah, it depends on the country, but the moment, I arrived here in Port Vila, Vanuatu, it feels like coming home. This is my first time coming back in the region. It was quite emotional, to be honest, but looking at the people, the environment, it really made my heart feel, warm. I cried also because this really feels like home. So having that said, the eagerness to liberate my people, to end the oppression in West Papua just increased the moment I see this is what I want the West Papuans to feel as well.
Vanuatu is the cool country in the Pacific that after our independence in 1980, as our former Prime Minister said, that Vanuatu is not free if the other Melanesian brothers, they are not free. And since then, Vanuatu is always the backbone of the campaign to free West Papua from Indonesia. So it creating the spirit of everybody here in Vanuatu that we are looking forward for that. Even myself, my family, everybody in Vanuatu. When we talk about West Papua, we want that freedom from West Papua and from Indonesia, and everybody participating, voicing their concern, looking you as a West Papuan coming over to Vanuatu. Now, your mission is important in the Pacific, mainly in Vanuatu. So we know that the MSG Leaders Summit will be taking place mid-week July. And we know that West Papua, mainly the ULMWP, has been pushing hard for years and years to become a full member of MSG. So your mission here is to work closely with the government officials, the ministers, and since you arrived, who are the people that you connect with or you had conversations in regards to the issue of ULMWP becoming a full member of MSG?
Yes, so thank you for bringing that forward. So yes, basically my mission is not directly to lobby with the heads of government, but as international spokesperson, the role was more to reach out to the people, to civil society, and also the media to at least talk about it towards this Melanesian Leaders Summit, so that the leaders are aware that they can't look away anymore from what is happening in West Papua. And this is something I don't have to ask for the government of Vanuatu, because they're the ones who listen to the words of one of the founding founding fathers of Vanuatu, Father Walter Lini, who said, without West Papua becoming free, Melanesia is not free. So this spirit here is there. And the only thing I want to do is that all the Vanuatu brothers and sisters will join us together during this summit, supporting the Vanuatu Free West Papua Association, to make this call together when the summit will be held in Vanuatu. But also to reach out to other Wantoks in the region, like Solomon Islands, where I just came back from. It was really important to get in touch with the civil society, because they were not aware about the importance of this upcoming summit, that it is the third time that the UMWP application will be brought forward. And there's a historic change, because the Fiji government have outspoken themselves with the current Prime Minister Rabuka, saying they will adopt this full membership application. So there's a really game changing, and the only thing we need is that the people in Melanesia will talk about it, and that's why I'm here for.
And in Vanuatu, what are the who are the civil societies that you've been in touch with?
So it's the Vanuatu Free West Papua Association. They're the ones who have done an amazing job the recent years to bring together the chiefs here and showing support for the UMWP. And also the head of mission here, Mr. Waromi, is always in touch with them. So they've done an amazing job in raising awareness here, but also keeping UMWP connected with the government through the chiefs. And I think this is such an important work that they have done and are still doing. And I will encourage everyone that everybody can join this Vanuatu Free West Papua Association to become member, and basically show your solidarity with the UMWP, with the people of West Papua, but also to the grassroots who are doing an amazing job here in Vanuatu.
Now, when you say that we show our support by joining the association, but also in regards to getting into a march or parade or anything that Vanuatu, it's really going to lead up to something, so that the Leaders Summit in mid-July this month will definitely make a change for ULMWP status.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to, ask the listeners to follow the Facebook page of Vanuatu Free West Papua Association. We're gonna upload the events that will come, that will be published ahead of this summit. Yes, and it would be wonderful for all Nivan people to participate in this, because we already know it's going to be quite historical. We got several festivals here, and we got a lot of bands who already said we're going to hoist the Morning Star flag and do some chants to make sure that the West Papuan brothers and sisters who were visiting here in big delegations to feel the spirit of the Melanesian family here.
So, meaning that, are you referring to the Melanesian festival? And we learned that 40 delegates from from West Papua residing in Papua New Guinea and Australia. They will be representing West Papua, and the Black Brothers, the surviving members of two surviving members of Black Brothers are coming, and the Black Sisters, and definitely there will be a big boost for the campaign leading up to the summit.
I'm so excited towards this concert music, and also the people, including this daughters of the late August band member of Black Brothers. And yeah, I think this is the spirit, once in a lifetime spirit, that I can participate in, and I'm looking forward to meet them all, and also the Wantoks who will be there as well.
So, Mr. Ap, are you saying that you're going to spend more weeks here in Vanuatu?
Yeah, so I'm gonna stay several weeks here. Next week I will go to Fiji first to meet the grassroots there and boost up the campaign there as well. And then I will come back here to prepare for this Melanesian Spearhead Group Summit together with the Vanuatu Free West Papua Association and all others who want to participate.
So you're visiting the Melanesian countries, right? So you come to Vanuatu, you went to Solomon Islands, the next trip will be Fiji. Is there any plan for Papua New Guinea and New Caledonia, Kanaki?
Yes, there was a plan to go to those countries as well, but because of a lack of funding, I had to make some choices, and so I used to go to Solomon because it is from utmost importance. I wanted to go to Papua New Guinea as well, but I've heard that there's a lot of happening already. So I would just go to Fiji and then come back to Port Vila, and hopefully in the next years I will absolutely visit Kanaki and Papua New Guinea as well.
Now, Mr. Benny Wenda, as the interim president of the provisional government of West Papua, has been doing big work for years and years and years. And then a decade ago, some region in West Papua, they were not agree. But suddenly, last month and the month before, all the 7 regions of West Papua, they came together to vote to endorse the full ULMWP to be a full membership of MSG. So this is something that you see your people are really looking forward for their freedom?
Absolutely. I think you've said it outstanding. I think the people in West Papua and all the 7 provinces realize how important this moment is. So you can see the people in West Papua mobilizing themselves because they see the suffering is there on a daily basis. So they're really looking forward that the UMWP will become full member, so we can table this important human rights issues and other issues, internally displaced people, discrimination, at the leaders of Melanesia. So they're looking forward, they're supporting the UMWP full membership, and I think the spirit of freedom has never been so big before.
Now, you've been doing your campaign abroad, out from your own country, just because of the past, what happened to your dad. But looking across the globe, other West Papuan living in different countries, they do have the same spirit, the fighting spirit. They want to see their people to have that freedom, the Merdeka, out from Indonesia. Now, but the atrocity that is happening in your own country, which is the fighting, the killings of Pikinini to women, to men, it's something that the United Nations is overlooking. But what you want to see as a young West Papuan abroad, you want leaders of the world to do?
Wow, this is an important question. I would ask and they're doing it, but I want to underline the importance that the Melanesian leaders can do and should do, looking at the current situation in West Papua. For example, the war in Ukraine, in Europe. How the West is completely backing up Ukraine, which they should. This is something that I would expect from not only Melanesian leaders, but Pacific Island leaders as well. This is the genocide in the region. Australia's genocide on the doorstep, but we're not talking about. Well, there was 24/7 news coverage about the war in Ukraine. This is a double standard. And I think the leaders should take notice of that. And I think Vanuatu is tabling this in the best way they can. And I hope that they will endorse it this time, because 2 days ago, 4th of July, the Special Advisor for the UN on Genocide has exposed an explosive statement in Geneva about this ongoing crimes against humanity against indigenous peoples of West Papua. So I think the momentum is growing, and I think the regional leaders should take the responsibility. And I think I'm confident, looking at the government change in Fiji, but also the immense role that Vanuatu have played, I think this will be the moment for them to decide whether West Papua's human rights issue will be tabled by allowing UMWP to become full member. So looking at what we've done in the Netherlands, 50 years silence in the former colonizer because of our campaign and individuals who are taking the courage to tell the story, we have changed the entire momentum in the Netherlands. The full parliament endorsing this call by the Pacific Island Forum to allow the UN Human Rights Commission to visit West Papua as soon as possible. So history have been made already. And we have learned because we can show that just a small island nation like Vanuatu have taken so much courage on a global stage, allowing the UMWP to travel and participate in their delegates around the world. And this has opened doors for us. And as proud, humble activists, I've seen how powerful a voice of an individual can be. Because we can be a light in this darkness, and that's what we have done the last 10 years, and we've shown that change is possible. So I want everybody to be encouraged to just tell the story and continue to educate people in your region, in your country, and around the world.
Now, in this upcoming Leaders Summit, in a few days from now, if the leaders of the MSG endorse the full membership of ULMWP, what will be happen to you, to every West Papua in regards to the status of ULMWP as West Papua in MSG?
I think a part of the desire and dream of all West Papuans will come true because the Melanesian leaders will fulfill that where Melanesia Spirit Group was established in the first place, decolonize the countries in Melanesia. So I think part of that dream will come through by accepting West Papua of this Melanesian family, because it's clear there's a colonial line, still colonial line on the island of New Guinea. We can't ignore that. So that would be one dream, and of course another dream is that it is an accepting of the West Papua's right to self-determination as well on the international law. But also it will be a chance finally for the West Papuans to table the issues that have been kept away for much too long, almost 60 years. We didn't have the voice. So I think when this will happen, the entire nation will see that we got a voice in the region to table the issues that matter to us all.
Now, you're seeking assistance, help, support from Melanesian countries. Is there also a plan for you to travel to any other Pacific Island countries like the Micronesian and the Polynesian, because we are all one Pacific Ocean, which is the Pacific people, and seeking their assistance, support for the outcry of ULMWP and West Papua as a future member of Pacific Island Forum?
Yes, absolutely. So this would just be the first step. This is also as I highlighted, my first travel to the region, and the first stop is Melanesia because of this Melanesian Spirit Group. But we have we have already online meetings with all kinds of Wantoks in the region, in Pacific. And it is important because I've experienced how important it is to meet the people in the region as activists, as spokesperson of our campaign, and that we can ignite each other's encouragement, learn from each other. So definitely after the Melanesian Spirit Group, I'm going to focus to all other parts in the Pacific region to reconnect with the family there and to highlight this importance of us directly telling the pain of the people in West Papua. Not only my father's story, but the stories of many West Papuans, women, children who have been raped or family member being killed. As soon as this story will be heard, magic will happen. They will open the heart and the support will increase. And I think this is the way forward. So I'm looking forward to go to other parts in Micronesia and the rest of the Pacific archipelago to meet the family there and to share the stories that we should share each other.
Now, if one day, one day, West Papua will have its Merdeka out from Indonesia, its independence from West Papua. Yes. You will definitely going back to your country?
100%. I will go there, build the country, and it will be another process. We're not there yet, because then the process of nation building will start. But at least we have the opportunity to guide, to build a country in our own direction. And I'm really confident looking forward to that moment, because an independent state of West Papua will mean a better future for the entire Melanesian and Pacific archipelago. Because West Papua, and I hope the family members in the Pacific will understand this, is the richest province of Indonesia. We are feeding Indonesia, the US, Australia and other countries because of just one biggest gold mine in the world and several other resources. So an independent state of West Papua, of course, is a more obligation, but economically, the Pacific can be independent from aid from whatever country. So I'm looking forward to build a nation, the region, and also tackling the climate crisis, because West Papua, together with New Guinea, is the world's largest tropical island. So it is important for the region to understand how West Papua is also related to the climate crisis.
As a West Papua in Netherlands, traveling the world, talking about the issue of West Papua, how do you see yourself to Indonesian in Indonesia and Indonesian in other countries around the world when you meet them?
So I don't have a personal issue with fellow Indonesian brothers and sisters. As a matter of fact, we see the potential of educating them as well, because the Indonesian government have basically indoctrinated their citizens about that West Papua was a former Dutch colony, and they have liberated West Papua. So we can't blame them. So we see a potential in educating Indonesian brothers and sisters so they become allies. And that's exactly what we're seeing now today in the Netherlands, other parts of the world, but especially in Indonesia and West Papua themselves. During I think if people know it, the Black Lives Matter protest in the US, it were Indonesian students who created the hashtag on Twitter, Papuan Lives Matters. And this is exactly the nightmare of the Indonesian government come true, that Indonesian brothers and sisters will embrace the West Papuans in their struggle for, fighting against human rights, but also independence. So there's a win-win here. So as soon as they get understanding about what is happening there, they will become allies. And this is the way forward. So I don't see them as a threat. I just see them as an opportunity to, bringing them on our side. And that's exactly what is happening in the Netherlands and elsewhere in the world.
So that's your expectation from the government of Indonesia, to sit in a round table and discuss with the leaders of West Papua a way forward, that maybe a referendum in 20 years from now for West Papua?
That would be a wonderful thing to happen. And I think Indonesia can learn from Papua New Guinea and the referendum in Bougainville. We can have an opinion about that, but Papua New Guinea is showing leadership. And I think Indonesia should do the same, like the Scottish people in the UK as well. So if they really care about international law and democratic values as democratic state, they should not oppress West Papua, but they just give them that opportunity to vote and to organize and mobilize and implement the international law as it should be.
So is youth, young people like you, are also included in the provisional government of West Papua?
So, no, I'm not directly an executive member, but I am there as a spokesperson for the Green State Vision and as executive member for the EU mission supporting the UMWP. So, but if there's direct request, of course, I will be helpful to participate in whatever way.
A recap on the Green State Vision.
Yes.
What is it exactly?
So during the climate summit in Glasgow, the COP26, the UMWP leadership launched the so-called Green State Vision, which is a cutting-edge indigenous proposal to tackle the climate and biodiversity crisis, underlining the reports of the UN scientists saying that just 5% of world's population exists of indigenous peoples, like West Papuans and other Wantoks in the region. Their way of lives have preserved more than 80% of world's remaining biodiversity. Adding that West Papua, together with Papua New Guinea, is the world's largest tropical island, housing the third largest rainforest. We are connecting the dots here within the Green State Vision, underlining that when indigenous people will manage the land, the forest will be protected and the ecosystem will restore itself. So this is our proposal towards the international community, and this is why Pacific Island leaders should not ask what is happening in the world to the world leaders, but look what is happening in the region and how they can amplify the struggles that are here in protecting deforestation, in protecting the forest ecosystem, and therefore tackling the climate crisis. So this is our proposal to the world, that if you really wanted to tackle the climate and biodiversity crisis, you should listen to indigenous peoples, and West Papuans are one of them.
Mr. Raki Ap, the international spokesperson for the Free West Papua Campaign and Green State Vision, joining us. We're ending our discussion here live in the studio of 96.3 Buzz FM. Before we go, any last word or message that you want to share to the people of Vanuatu or those who are watching us from different regions of the Pacific and throughout the world?
First of all, I want to thank you for the invitation and the opportunity here, and I want to thank our brothers and sisters in Vanuatu for becoming such an inspirational source for us of hope in this darkness all this time. And I'm confident that you will stand side beside us. And I'm looking forward to work together with all of you, but also all the Wantoks here in the region who have been there for us the last decades. I want to thank you, all of you, on behalf of our campaign and our people for being that light of hope. And I want to encourage you to believe in the superpower you have, every one of us have, just to become a voice. I'm looking forward to meet all of them wherever they are at some point.
Mr. Raki Ap, thank you again joining 96.3 Buzz FM, and all the best for your campaign.
Thank you so much.